Good evening and welcome to 10 to Go Radio. I'm your host, Honorary Boomer, and I'm here with my friend,
Craig.
Craiger. Welcome aboard. Welcome to
Howdy,
your
hey,
first
Boomer.
episode. Oh yeah, it's going to be a good one. Our personal story today is about the first race that we went to together. That would have been September of 2024 at Kansas, and we got down into the fan zone, and it would have been on Saturday. We were getting autographs pretty good there. It
Yeah,
worked
we
out
were.
really well. Craig was holding the bag and the uh, stack of cards, and as we saw drivers coming through, I was grabbing cards and being ready, and then Craig would just hand me the next card. Here's Blaney. Oh, good, here he is. So
Yes, yes. I gotta respect Logano and Hamlin. They're not our favorite drivers by far, but when you did holler for them, they did come over and they signed it. I mean,
they
a lot
sure
of
did.
fan favorites like Larson and Byron just kind of kerfuffled it on through. Just whipped on in, whipped on out, and
Yeah,
you really can't blame them. I mean, they have so many fans that kind of have to run versus Hamlin and Logano, where it's more cultish to follow them. Not that supporting them is a bad thing, even though it is.
sure. Everybody has their own opinion. And that's yours. But I do think from what I've seen with like Kyle Larson, for instance, I think that he signs anything for anybody at a dirt event,
Yeah,
and he'll sign just about anything for anybody wearing his shirt during a NASCAR weekend.
yeah,
I've had cards, ready to go, the same card ready for him to sign, and he'll walk right past me to sign the guy next to me because that guy's wearing Larson merchandise. And I'll be honest, I gotta respect that.
yeah.
I'm on board with that. You gotta prioritize them somehow, and the people who are, actually your fan and not just a Hendrick fan. I guess I don't. I'm rocking the throwback Tony the Tiger jacket this week. So I guess this does count as Kyle Larson merchandise in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You do have, on the topic of merchandise, you really do have to give NASCAR credit. I mean, compared to other series like IMSA or Formula One, NASCAR merchandise is so abundant and honestly reasonably priced. I mean, a NASCAR shirt is maybe $30, $40 versus F1 where these are 70, 80 to $100 shirts behind me.
And the only time I can ever justify paying more than $50 for a T-shirt is when it's like pit crew issued. I
Hmm.
do really like those. I've got just a couple of pit crew issued shirts, and they are comfortable and they're durable, and they've got a little pocket for your radio. Pretty snazzy tastic.
Yeah.
But
And I
yeah.
mean, like, the hats are good quality. I mean, I have a throwback for this weekend.
Oh
Josh
yeah, Josh
Berry's,
Berry.
the Wood Brothers Lotus, 49, 80, 82 Indianapolis 500 win with Jim Clark. Only $40 after taxes and shipping versus
Honestly, that's
this where at the track it was $60.
whew. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a little steep there, guy.
yeah, it is. But
What series was that again?
this one, IMSA.
Yeah, IMSA. I didn't mind my IMSA race at Coda. That was kind of fun with the headlights and everything.
Not just stickers this time, Jordan.
No, the cars actually looked like cars, Craig.
I guess that's unusual to you.
It is. It's very
Looking at
strange.
that, I wonder the day that we can buy a V8 rear-wheel drive Camry.
I would honestly buy one if I could get a rear wheel drive. Well, I don't know about rear wheel drive. I'd
Oh,
really
yes, you
like it to
would.
be all wheel drive. I live in South Dakota, Craig. I need that all wheel drive action, but
Well, you need to have fun the 3 weeks it isn't snowing there.
yeah, well, that's all it is 3 weeks. So yeah, no, we do need the moisture actually. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
you do. We don't take it.
No, but talking about the Midwest, in lap 9 here, the charter lawsuit. This is kind of a new deal that emerged kind of this past week. Apparently, Legacy Motor Club wanted to buy one of the charters from
Yeah.
Rick Ware Racing, and now Rick Ware wants to back out or shift gears.
Yeah. It. I feel like really the main victim isn't Rick Ware. It's RFK. Uh, Roush Fenway Keselowski. I mean, we all know the 60s truly the 15 on a lease back to them.
Sure.
And as Eric Eastep said and brought to light, you can't lease back-to-back charters. So which charter was this for? Was it for the 15, where it doesn't really matter, or was it for the 51?
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
Toyota's going to be upset too. I mean, they were hoping to add one to the fleet.
Yeah, I mean, Ford's not going to be happy over it either.
No.
I mean, Ford's going to be very upset with RWR at the end of the day. And I mean, we all know the person in the 51 probably shouldn't be on the track anymore.
Yeah. Well, I can agree with that. But and I don't know if they want to just flippity flop that and just sell the 15 if that's the one they've been leasing out, and then just lease out the 51, and then you're still in NASCAR, right? I mean, technically on paper, if you want to tell somebody at the bar that you're in NASCAR and you own a charter, I guess you still do.
Well, I mean, by doing that, I mean they still leave RFK out to dry. I mean, does that? We all know Brad Keselowski's had an abysmal year so far through 6 rounds, if I'm correctly.
Yep.
Last year was abysmal. He did not make the playoffs. I mean, are we going to see, if this continues, are we going to see a announcement of Keselowski retiring to make room in the 6 for Ryan Preece? Or, Ryan Preece has slightly struggled. I mean, I wouldn't say terribly so in that car. Would he need to find a new ride?
I think that Brad does spend a lot of time and effort thinking through all of this from an ownership perspective, and I wonder if that takes away from his ability to drive the car. I wonder if you look at like Kyle Busch when he drove for himself, KBM, he didn't do so well. He was really rude over the radio and didn't quite get the finishes that he wants. And now that he has zero control over that whole program, he's driving for Spire. We've got a couple of wins in Atlanta, back-to-back years. So, I mean, I think that tells me that when you don't have to worry about the cars or the pit crew or, the building lease or the property taxes, that, yeah, you can just focus on the race car. You can race a lot better. And so maybe that's, the inspiration that Brad needs to hang up the helmet and grab a ball cap.
Yeah, you also got to, on that same topic, I mean, you have to consider Denny Hamlin. I mean, 2311, I mean, he's had his blows with his own drivers. I mean, that puts Toyota, JGR, and himself in a very awkward position. I mean, when your teammate Bell is roughing it up with, Reddick and your teammate Gibbs are roughing it up around Martinsville. I mean, all 6 feet between them, wanting to fight after the race. I mean, puts you in a tough spot as a teammate and an owner to both those guys. I mean, I think that could be a reason he leaves JGR if things continue to spiral between them. Because, I mean, you got to remember, that 54 driver, Ty Gibbs, his name's on the building at the end of the day.
He's not
Hamlin's
going anywhere. Yeah. No, and unfortunately for Ty, he's off to a really rough start again this year. We were hoping that things would improve. We are seven races into the year, and it's one of those things where I think it's a big enough sample size to say, whether or not you're really going to be doing well this year. You
Yeah.
can't in one breath say that, wow, Michael McDowell's doing really good this year. Look at how far he is in the point standings, and he's getting good results, and we're a good chunk into the year, and then turn around and go, well, Brad's not doing so well, but it's early on in the year. We haven't really gotten far into, so you've got to
Oh,
stay honest with yourself on both ends there.
yeah. I mean, we're pushing a quarter of the way into the year. I did see a stat the other day. Ty Gibbs is now the longest tenured JGR driver without a win. I mean, I believe he took that stat from Daniel Suarez during his tenure there. I mean, we saw even with the change of environment to Trackhouse, he still struggled with that. I believe he only has 3 wins to his career.
I was
3 or
thinking it
2.
was two,
2,
but
Sonoma
either
and
either
Atlanta.
way, yeah, I
I
know
mean,
Atlanta. I was there,
and
but
Atlanta is I wouldn't call it a Mickey Mouse win because that's just credit to him because he got into that position. But it's a super speedway win, which
yeah,
it's a win, it's a playoff bid, but it's a super speedway win. It's one of those things where
exactly.
you
It's not
take it
really
with a grain
showing
of
your
salt. There's obviously skill in getting to that point and staying up there and being consistent and keeping the car clean to run with the pack. But if I remember correctly, all but 3 cars were not involved in a wreck that race. I mean, that race was very wreck heavy. I think only 2 or 3 cars crossed that line without being beat up. And a lot of very good cars were taken out that race, too. I mean, out of Hamlin, if I remember correctly, Hamlin was involved in a massive one that year. I believe you were in attendance for that one, too.
Yeah, I was in attendance at that one. That was actually the time that we got upgraded to a suite, so that'd be a good one to cover sometime in our lap 10 personal stories. But yeah, I actually didn't know that Ty Gibbs had taken that title. That is not a title you want to have at
No.
all.
I think that's a title you want to avoid at any of the top teams, especially in a tier 1 team like JGR or a Hendrick or a Penske team. I mean, you can kind of skirt that title like Brosher did at RFK for a long time of being winless. But even he had to punch through at Richmond near the end of the year.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not good to be the guy who is terrible and doesn't deserve to be in a seat.
When you look back 2 years ago, nobody was saying that he was terrible and doesn't deserve to be in that seat, right? I mean, nobody
Yeah.
was thinking that he got there because of his name. I mean, he got there because look at what he can do in Xfinity. It was incredible.
Yeah, I
And
mean, he
then,
dominated that series in his first run. I mean, tore through it. He got a lot of hate because everyone thought he was just going to be an old Kyle Busch in that JGR seat, and that he just come up and kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's all out bubblegum.
right? It's definitely something that surprises me. I don't think anybody would have seen this coming after his first year to say that he'd go backwards in year 2. But I mean, we've really been seeing this is not a good start for year 3. So hopefully he can turn that around. But we've gotten a little bit off topic from this charter lawsuit, so we'll move
Yeah.
on to lap 8. Some RCR news. Jesse Love is starting his Cup debut at Bristol here next. Was that next week? Let me look at the schedule.
Yeah,
here.
next
Yeah,
week.
April 13th. Crazy.
That's a tough place to debut. I mean, especially with the tires from last year that they're bringing. They're bringing the last year spring tires. They said.
Oh, are they? They're doing the same ones they had last time.
Yeah.
They had all
So
those issues.
that's going to be. If I remember correctly, they also brought those tires to last year's fall Bristol, but they didn't have the same effect because everyone knew what to expect by that point.
You really got to save your stuff.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to be hard for someone who's new and in what is a a underbody downforce GT3 car.
Sure. Well, I think it's high time that Jesse Love get into a Cup car. I think that it was great that he jumped from ARCA straight into Xfinity, and he's won twice in Xfinity. I mean, it might be time, might be a little bit premature, but might be time to start seeing what he can do in Cup. And so I'm excited
Yeah,
that
I mean,
RCR is giving him that opportunity.
yeah, I mean, it's not terrible equipment either. It's not a live fast car or a McLeod Racing
Right?
or a Hayek Motorsport car. I mean, it's a solid midfield car. I would not say front of the mid pack based on the three's performance, because you have a generational talent in the eight, though you really can't respect his efforts in regards to the quality of the car.
Sure. I think this might be a sign of things to come. I think that we might end up seeing Austin Dillon retire and move upstairs and work in management and turn the keys over. Metaphorically speaking, there are no keys to NASCAR Cup cars, but turn it over to Jesse Love someday. I think that honestly, of the two, Austin Hill is probably more deserving, definitely more deserving of a full-time Cup ride. But I don't think he wants to go. I think he wants to be kind of an Xfinity lifer, kind of like Justin Allgaier type guy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, Austin is also getting some Cup starts this year.
He is.
I don't remember where off the top of my head, but I would imagine the 1.5 mile gauntlets that NASCAR is somewhat famous for now.
Let's take a look here. So he's going to do Darlington this weekend. Chicago Street Race.
Ooh, that's going to be rough.
Whew. Yeah, that's a decision. Daytona International Speedway, the 23rd of August. That'll be great. And September 13th, Bristol. And then October 19th, Talladega. So that makes a lot of sense. Both Daytona and Talladega make a lot of sense.
Two super speedways, a road course, and a short track in 1.5 miles.
Yep.
So he's getting around at what is NASCAR. I mean, he's getting a shot on each type of track, pretty much.
Absolutely.
And I think that points to that he is their primary effort for next year if AD steps out of the 3. But the question is, will it still be the 3?
Oh, absolutely not. No way.
Yeah.
They've said before that only the Earnhardt family and the Dillon family are the two that can drive the 3. So I think you're probably going to see the
29 come back.
Something, either the 29 or the 33. They might want to keep the 33 around for third car entries, so you might be right.
Yeah.
Bring back the 29.
Yeah, I mean, it made a return last year with SHR and Harvick, a couple years ago with SHR and Harvick. Yeah. And his retirement tour, running the old Busch Light.
That was exciting.
Was it Busch or it was Busch as a sponsor?
Yeah, because that's the one they're pushing. But Budweiser was
the original sponsor.
One way back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I suppose. What do you think? Lap 7.
Yeah, we can move on to lap 7.
Kind of sticking with the RCR theme here, we got Kyle Busch and his future. You know, I mean, we just talked about Austin Dillon retiring. I mean, when does Kyle hang it up? I mean, how many years do you go winless before you say
he's running 17th in points right now? He's one out of the playoff for pointing in. I mean, I think if he doesn't make the playoffs this year, I mean, his options are to double down on the state of RCR, because I just don't think there's many other drives that would be better than the RCR seat. I mean, Hendrick isn't going to pay the money for him because he only has, I would say, 4 years in him max. And how many of those years is he going to be good? I love Kyle Busch. He's one of my more favorite drivers. I root for him when I see him do well. As I think a lot of people do. I mean, he went from villain to hero rather quickly. But I just, no one's going to pay the money. JGR isn't going to pay the money for him. RFK doesn't have the seat for him now that the Rick Ware is going on, even if Brad K retired. Plus, you have the backlog of Ford boys. Toyota said, they regret losing him, but... And then Chevy has RCR's young boys. The two that have dominated Xfinity so far, Jesse Love and Austin Hill. I mean, where would he go except down to trucks like he said he wants to do?
The only thing I could possibly, and I don't know if this is even possible, is over to the 7 car. There were talks a little bit about Spire, and I know Spire really likes him because he's won for him. And I know that Spire is basically, in a way, like a alternate Hendrick, and so...
Is it a better situation than RCR, though?
I don't think so, and I'll be honest with you. Looking at the sponsorship that Spire runs with, I don't think they can afford to pay Kyle to be in there full time.
Even if it wasn't about the money, I just don't think they have. It's like we remember the fall off very recently. Corey LaJoie at Spire in his last year. They finally had expectations. He was finally expected. Okay, you have competent equipment. You have this. You have that. All the pieces are here. Now you have to perform. Is Spire ready for that? Because if you look at Michael McDowell, who is a very competent driver, we know this. They haven't been there. They haven't been ready for him. He's not running well. I mean...
Well, they're losing equipment too. I mean, the steering box goes out, or these unapproved adjustments where you just nix a great day.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think. Now Spire knows what Spire knows. I mean, we can't know what Spire has and what they have up their sleeve. I just don't think Spire should be rushing to get back into that light of, hey, you have arguably the greatest driver of this generation in your car, who we know can still win in this generation. Now give him a car.
Right.
I mean, because they also have two very good young drivers in Carson Hocevar and what's his name?
Justin Haley.
Yeah, Justin Haley. And Michael McDowell. I mean, you have three very good drivers there already. I mean, and dropping in Kyle Busch, you're asking for a cat fight.
Yeah.
Over resources. I mean, it's just not going to be pretty if you drop him into that situation.
So he stays with RCR for a couple of years. In the meantime, he's doing these little weekday events, like he just raced his son. He won, or not won, but did better than his son in that event. I think it was on Dirt Vision. I don't have a subscription to that, so I didn't get to watch the race. But mini midgets, fun little race cars.
Yeah.
So I do think that it'd be fun for him sometime to, when he goes to retire, to drop down to trucks and race for Spire full time for a season and go for that championship.
Yeah, I would like to see him win a championship, and he brought it up, I believe, at the beginning of the season, that he wants to win a truck championship. That he's very aware of the fact that if he were to win it, he'd be the only driver to have a championship and truck, Xfinity, and Cup. He's aware of that fact. We're all aware of it. That will we put it past him?
I think it's worth doing. I think it's a worthy goal, and it's funny when you put that up against somebody that's had so much success saying something like that. against somebody who has really not had much success at all in Corey LaJoie, saying, I don't want to go down to trucks and have 12 people in the stands. You're like, and you've got a guy who's a two-time Cup champion that's like, I want to go back to trucks before I retire.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that. Corey LaJoie, I mean, his father literally made a career out of being an Xfinity driver. A very good one at that. Does he not respect his dad as a driver?
Not based on his comments.
No, apparently not. And I mean, we all have heard the jokes about Truck Series, and arguably Truck Series was the most well-behaved truck driving series this past weekend at Martinsville. We all saw the antics with Xfinity, especially that last lap going through 3-4. It gives itself an air of legitimacy to have a Kyle Busch in the field. I mean, that automatically brings up the standard of driving in the field. And I think NASCAR should want that, especially. Spire would want that in their 7 truck, because that's guarantee a deep playoff run, pretty much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that was part of the thing when they sold KBM. When he sold KBM to Spire, he said, I want to come back and race trucks for a season. And I wouldn't put it past Kyle if something happened. He loses a truck at the championship race, and doesn't end up winning it. I wouldn't put it past him that he stays another season and tries to go for it again.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool to see. I'm kind of excited for that. So that's all I got for lap 7, though.
Yeah, we can move on to lap 6.
So lap 6 is all about these. I want to try to share my screen here. And we'll share this Chrome tab. So I don't know if you can see that too.
Yes,
but
I can.
We're looking at all the different schemes now for Cup for throwbacks. I always liked this Long John Silver's little pirate. I think that's hilarious. But it's not very creative. It's not something that changes year to year. So, of all these, I mean, what stands out to you?
As you saw, and we talked about earlier, I love the Wood Brothers 21. I mean, it is a fantastic throwback. It's also a very niche story. I mean, I knew about the story somewhat. I mean, Jim Clark wanted to come over, race the Indy 500 in the Ford Lotus, or the Lotus Ford, however you want to call it, and he needed a pit crew. Lotus couldn't give one, Ford couldn't give one, and the Wood Brothers were the available crew at the moment. So you had a NASCAR crew doing an IndyCar race and won. And I mean, this hurts a little to say. The 24, it's a little old. I'm a little fatigued on the throwback to Gordon's. When Hendrick keeps doing this, it undermines Byron's identity. And yes, Jeff Gordon, 5-time champion, co-owner of Hendrick Motorsports, you gotta step out of his shadow. And it's suffocating. It's hard for Byron to be his own driver and create his own identity when he has to keep being in the shadow of Jeff Gordon because he's in the 24. Bowman's had his own identity. I know he's doing a throwback to the previous famous driver of that car, the Jimmy Johnson. I believe it's the 2012 Lowe's livery he's throwing back to. But, I mean, when I look at that, I think, oh, it's Bowman and Ally. But when you look at Byron's 24, you're like, okay, it's just another Jeff Gordon livery. his Daytona 500. It was a damn throwback. I mean, the 24 doing a fucking Jeff Gordon thing is a daily occurrence. It's not special when it goes to Darlington. Really, his only memorable throwback livery was when he did Days of Thunder. It's impossible to fucking call his liveries to throwback on Darlington now, because always just another Jeff Gordon livery.
Yeah, and I want to agree with you. I want to get Byron as his own identity out here. But when you've got the same number, I mean, like the 2 car, throwing back to Dale Earnhardt, right? I mean, you kind of have to stay in that number, and I'm sorry. I mean, when I think 24, I think Jeff Gordon. I don't know that that's going to be something that you can just move on from, those 93 wins.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I understand that. But, I mean, like number-wise, I mean, the 11, I mean, he's throwing back to Carl Edwards in the 99. It's not a hard barrier to, yes, have different numbers and throw back to a different driver, but, I mean, there's drivers before Jeff Gordon in the 24, Let's throw a light there.
For sure.
Or if you really want to do Jeff Gordon, go way back. Go back to the 90s.
Do the rainbow car.
Let's not do 2010s Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to be a throwback when most of the people watching the race were still alive, kicking, and had kids.
Right. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I was just thinking about, I've got somewhere Byron's 500 win from last year, and it does have the flames on it, man. And I tell you what, I feel like you're not wrong. He needs his own thing. He needs his own identity, something that sets him apart from.
Yeah, I mean, look
that.
I think what Hendricks has done with the 48 is fantastic. Also with the 9, I mean, Chase Elliott, Bill Elliott, I mean, I know that's his son. But when you look at the 9, it's not a red 9 it's not a red car with a white number 9.
That's fair.
He has his own identity. It's not a constant homage to Bill Elliott, who is one of the most popular drivers ever, point blank.
Granted, it is currently a monstrosity, but it's not a throwback to his dad.
It's not, and it's suffocating for Byron. I'm sure that he has to constantly be like, "Yep, it's Jeff's car. It's Jeff's car." Every week, it's a homage to Jeff Gordon.
So maybe we'll end up stepping out of that over time. I mean, is there a scheme that you'd like to propose? I mean, let's just assume that Rick and Jeff are watching this over their lunch hour.
I mean, if they want to, he has pretty much only done Hendrick parallel things. Let's, why not throw it back to Hendrick's first win at Martinsville, if you really want to get back to that? I know they did the Rubies at last year Martinsville.
Well, not just throwback, but I mean like dual stripes or something that's Byron, that's definitively him and not anybody else.
Go back to his Xfinity styles, his truck styles, the dark blue and red. He had the red, white, and blues. Admittedly, that was for Liberty, his sponsor.
Yeah.
But
if we've got anybody on the horn from Hendrick, take note. Let's get Byron his own identity here. Not just on throwback weekends, but just in general,
Yeah.
So, I do like the Office Depot throwback. I really like the Tony the Tiger throwback.
That is probably livery of the race.
You gotta admit. I mean, when you look at that, you think that's great. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it really helps Larson that his owner is his sponsor, and he can
do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants versus Byron with Exalta, who was Jeff Gordon's sponsor.
Right.
I really do like Custer's throwback there.
Yeah. I wish we could see Spire do something, but they're the mom and pop's car too looks really good. I
Hmm.
will say that. They don't show you the hood, but this one's got a nice looking hood.
I think one thing that would really help these liveries
Yeah.
is allowing movement.
And we're back. Sorry about that. So
I
Craig, tell us what would make these better.
I really think what would make these Cup throwbacks better, and we're seeing this with the Xfinity series, is allowing movement of the numbers. We NASCAR has moved them under the A pillar. We I don't know if you saw the post a couple of days ago about BJ McLeod getting in trouble over moving the number forward over the last couple weeks, over the last couple entries. Sorry, but it was he got in trouble for moving it up, up, up. Sorry, back down the door, and that alone just gives it a air of nostalgia
Yeah.
versus these with it under the A pillar. I mean,
I
yes,
just,
moving it forward was good for the sponsor, but
I just noticed the 42. Look at that. How wonky is that?
oh
Number
yeah,
placement. What happened there? Oops.
oops,
They sent that out into production already, huh? I don't know what the
that
story is there,
that'll
but
pass line LQC.
yeah, they're definitely gonna, huh? Oh man. All right. Well, let's look at the Xfinity drivers, who honestly I think have a pretty
They
strong
knocked it out
case
of the
going
park
on here.
this year.
The three doors down, the Spree car, uh, Haviline,
I mean,
Coors
this
Light,
is what NASCAR Cup throwback should be. I mean, it's not the
100%.
18. It's throwing back. It's doing a very nice throwback to the previous driver of that car,
Yeah,
Kyle Busch, who
nice.
dominated Xfinity as a bushwhacker.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
Jamie McMurray throwbacks. Yeah, Jamie McNugget, as a dear YouTuber calls him.
Oh yeah. Brennan Poole's car looks really good. That
Yeah,
Looney Tunes throwback.
yeah,
They
throwback to
had
Jeff Gordon.
they had T-shirts, and I was like, I need one of those T-shirts, and they are not making those T-shirts, unfortunately. But
Sadly.
the what was this? Exxon batteries? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good car. Um, the
Zillits throwing it back
Nesquik.
to his team owner
Yeah,
in the '88. That's a good one. I'm a little worried about how many we might see out of that car in the future. If it's going to end up like the Cup 24. Fast Pasta throwing it back to, I believe that's Kevin Harvick.
oh yeah, in the Coors Light car.
Yep. Harrison Burton throwing it back to his dad too. You know,
For sure.
Brandon Jones, Carl Edwards. I think that's the 2013 year. Parker Retzloff, as usual, with that fantastically beautiful yellow car.
Oh yeah, Kodak machine.
Yep.
Picture perfect.
Yep. And Christopher Bell throwing it to his teammate with the white sports clips to Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
Sam Mayer with the Kurt Busch 2015 Daytona 500 win.
Oh yeah. A
And
lot of
Kyle
really good
Sieg.
cars. I mean,
That
this makes it tough.
and Leyland Honeyman Jr. That might be the best throwback point blank period ever. You know
Nesquik was a good sponsor.
that they also his sponsor. I mean, the hood of that car. I don't know if you're able to pull up a photo of it. It's just beautiful. I mean, like it, they went with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mostly because these drivers at this level are self-funded still, so their sponsors are with them.
Yeah, to describe that hood, they've just got like a wire coming up because that's
Yeah,
what this guy sells. But
yeah,
I think I've got to go with Brennan Poole, to be honest with you. I mean, that Looney Tunes throwback is pretty darn snazzy-tastic.
yeah. It's very good.
So, all right, let me stop sharing here. Are you going to grab a picture of that hood?
Oh,
Oh, okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think we've pretty well covered lap 6 here with Darlington throwback schemes. One.
oh, screw it. Screw it. I can't find it. Oh, NASCAR rewards. You are going to be the expert on this one because I don't really use it.
I don't know what happened there, but I lost
I'm not sure what happened there either for you there, bud.
you. All right, I'm back. So, NASCAR
Hi, back.
rewards.
I'm Craig. Nice to meet you.
Get a little dad joke in there.
Oh yeah.
That's good. So NASCAR fan rewards. Are you in that program or no?
I am not.
Well, let me tell you, it's pretty snazzy-tastic.
As I'm told.
I was going to look through the list of how all to earn points, but I know, like, just checking in every week, that gives you points. Doing your fantasy lineup, that'll give you some points. And then, like, buying tickets, buying the scanner subscription. If you go into the app and you want to listen to your favorite driver, their scanner feed live during the show is accessible through that for a monthly fee. If you buy that, you get NASCAR reward points. If you buy tickets, you get reward points. If you buy a campsite, you get reward points. If you buy merchandise, you get reward points, right? So if you get
Spend money, get points.
yeah, pretty much. It's a pay to play deal, but it pays you back, right? So you can either get gift cards or merchandise. You can get signed merchandise. You can get experiences. Like my dad and I got VIP passes to Kansas. That was incredible. And my fiance and I will be able to go as VIPs to a race later this year because of last year's points. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that to me, it just shows appreciation for your fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good system. I obviously can't speak to it as I don't actively use it, as NASCAR is not my primary motorsport following, as might be obvious by the assembly behind me of IMSA and Formula One merchandise.
The one NASCAR thing you had, you didn't want to wear. The throwback hat.
I do have the Dale Jr. Bush 8,
Well, there we go.
Bud 8. Though that's super late model, so it's not even NASCAR for you.
No. Well, I can't believe that was the number one car sold last year. Was Dale Jr.'s number 8 machine.
I can believe it.
I mean, I get it. I suppose there's a lot of guys with a Dale Jr. collection just looking to keep up with.
What did Kyle Busch say in at Richmond so many years ago? Those women have 88 tattooed on their chest. That was a good little zinger from him.
There are at least a couple. So
just a few out there, and you can't blame him. I mean, he was the most popular driver to ever do it. I mean, he's literally referred to as Redneck Jesus.
In a way, yeah. That's I've heard that one too. But yeah, so as far as NASCAR rewards, I mean, if you're not signed up, sign up for free and tell them we sent you. So, all right, that's lap 5. Lap 4, ARCA. We don't have ARCA this week that I'm aware of, but I did want to touch on that a little bit. I wish NASCAR would put that into their app, because I can go into the app right now and like check, okay, trucks are at Bristol this week, and Xfinity and Cup are at Darlington. It would be nice if that was in there, and then also to be able to listen to the radios too. I mean, all the different things that are already in the app, you already have the infrastructure for it. Just add ARCA in there too.
Well, I disagree. I mean, ARCA is it. How far do you go? I mean, if you add ARCA National, are you going to add ARCA East and West? And then are you going to add super late models and late models and dirt midgets? I mean,
does NASCAR own dirt midgets?
No.
See, so
they
then
don't.
No. So then I'd.
But the problem is, I mean, you have to choose where to draw the line, and I think NASCAR drew a fairly clear line, as Truck, Xfinity, and Cup are the three that they originally owned. They only bought ARCA because the original founder went belly up. They treat it as a pre-show to NASCAR, and the NASCAR show is Truck, Xfinity, and Cup.
Sure, but I would throw ARCA National in there so that you start getting exposure to the fans.
I disagree, because people. I'm going to say this. I know Cletus McFarland. He brought a lot of attention to ARCA at Daytona. Generally, people just don't care. Not a lot of people watch Truck already. Why go a step further and pay all this money to add all this infrastructure when people aren't going to watch? It's easy to do it at a NASCAR track when they're already there because Truck's there.
Sure.
Or they own the track, but ARCA doesn't go to NASCAR on tracks most of the time. They go to small local tracks. Why would you pay all this money to add all this infrastructure when no one gives a crap? Except for the die-hard fans. And at that point, they're probably going to travel to it.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit of a drive, but anyway. All right, well, that's the end of ARCA. Number 3, trucks.
Lasted just as long as the original owner.
That wasn't my intent, but I like what you did there. What do you got for trucks? Anything?
You got to applaud the drivership this year. I mean, it's definitely an increase from last year. Admittedly, all the troublemakers from last year are now just in Xfinity wrecking up those cars. But Truck has honestly, in my opinion, been the most fun to watch this year. I think it's more fun than Xfinity and more fun than Cup to watch.
Yeah, it's been surprisingly good.
It's been very good. And I don't think we should be saying surprisingly. I mean, we know it's going to be a good show because you have very grizzled veterans who have been with these cars for longer than dirt, back when the Ark was being built by Noah. I mean, the base of that chassis, I mean, Lord knows how long they've been rolling, since the 90s at least. Steel body cars. I mean, they're great trucks. I mean, they produce great racing. They have for Lord knows how many years. I mean, and they'll continue to. I mean, I don't think NASCAR should mess with it. I mean, the steel body roll cages are great.
I do think it would have been nice to have an opportunity when I did the NASCAR driving experience. It would have been nice to have the opportunity to drive a truck instead of a ARCA car. I mean, it wasn't even a COT. I mean, it was a generation from that. I mean, it was basically an ARCA car. But, yeah, I don't know. Frankie Muniz, that was one bullet point I had for this week.
On lap 3.
Yeah, lap 3. He was talking about his filming obligations with they're making a remake of Malcolm in the Middle. And so he's got to like get out of the truck, get into a helicopter, get into an airplane, and go to Vancouver. like immediately right after the race so that he can be there for filming obligations. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that has got to be. I hope that doesn't impact his racing career. You
I
know?
hope so too. He's a great guy. I mean, he's very funny. We all heard his exchange on the radio at
Yep.
Martinsville that he
Yep.
wants to fight whoever's in 29th, and he's in 29th. uh, I just hope his. I'm gonna draw a parallel. I don't think you're gonna understand it, but Patrick Dempsey. Do you know who that is?
Not at all.
Was in Grey's Anatomy, doctor, very famous actor. He bought into a WEC team called Proton, and he very infamously got fired over this. Said, "Well, at Le Mans, I only do the acting so I can afford going racing."
Wow.
Upset a lot of producers with that statement. Got killed off in Grey's Anatomy over that one. He's making his return to racing. I believe he has a docuseries called Back in the Racing Seat this year.
He's acting so that he can go racing. Got it.
Yeah. I just hope Frankie can strike that balance. I mean, I don't want to see Frankie Muniz end up in the same situation where he hates acting, so he can, and only does it so he can go get in a Cup car or an Xfinity car or a truck or a Porsche Cup or whatever he wants to be in. I mean, he's obviously wealthy. He's paying for his own seat. But let's hope that he can continue to do what he loves and enjoy it. I mean, that it's honestly the truest form of racing there. I mean, he's doing it because he loves it.
Absolutely.
And he's happy, obviously.
Yeah, I hope that we'll see him improve this year with a full schedule.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see him make some Xfinity starts this year. And maybe one day see him in Cup. I mean, who knows? I mean, NASCAR is one of those sports where, eventually you'll get your shot.
Absolutely.
Seen some very inappropriate starters, like Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been on my mind the entire episode. I'm kind of excited to jump into it. Maybe a little bit prematurely.
Lap 2.
Lap
No
2.
cautions.
No.
No cautions, Boomer.
Well, we had a caution for a water bottle, but that's okay.
I don't want to go to overtime, okay?
No
Not on the
green, white
last few
checkers.
laps.
No green white checkers here. So lap 2 Xfinity, kind of a demo derby there at the end.
God damn it, you're sending us to overtime.
Kind of the third the third stage was just a mess.
I mean, just watching. I mean, we all saw it building up and building up and building up. And then you had that massive 7-car pileup on that last turn, allowing Austin Hill to kind of sneak through and snatch the win out of that and win the Dash for Cash.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a disgrace to what racing is. I mean, and it kind of hollers back to the Bowman Gray. I mean, where 4 cars back, someone causes the wreck, and you're feeling that at the front row. I mean, there's a reason NASCAR didn't allow Xfinity to go back to Martinsville till 2020. And it's because of the inexperience and immaturity of the drivers in that series. And I understand it. It was a fun race up until stage 3, in my opinion. Shout out to SRO for completing a 1 hour, 30-minute race around Sonoma in the entirety of stage 3 at Martinsville. If you didn't know that, they did.
I did not know that.
Yeah, SRO managed to run an entire race around Sonoma in the time it took NASCAR to complete Stage 3 for Martinsville.
To be fair, I had to go to church. I got to go to church when Martinsville was going on, and I came out and I was like certain that it was done. You know,
Nope.
and because we went in during stage 2, you know, I was like, certainly it's gonna be done when we come back. You know,
Nope.
and
Red flag.
No, I turned it back on and in the car on the drive home, Sirius XM NASCAR radio, and boy howdy was I surprised to hear that it was still going.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Martinsville is either the most boring race or it's the most chaotic. I mean, it's like the crazy ex-girlfriend. You know, you never know what you're gonna get when you text her.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit on about the boring side of things on lap 1. But
Well, we'll probably be talking about that come fall.
yeah, it's probably going to be pretty boring. Well, and especially with all this talk of who's responsible to keep these drivers in line, because the drivers pay to be in the car. So you know, it's not necessarily the team, the pit crew, the crew chief. You know, I mean, he's not going to try to keep his driver in line. I mean, how can he? He doesn't have the authority. Even the owner of the team is like, well, I mean, you paid to be here, so it's just like if you rent the go-karts at the go-kart track and you're driving them around. It's like, hey, I'm the customer, okay? You know, leave me alone. I'll put Craig in the wall if I want to. So it's tough in that respect, you know, and Kevin Harvick talked about on his podcast that you know, when he would have something like that, he'd be in the hauler getting chewed out, you know, and NASCAR would be right there behind the team owner to say, hey, you know, that wasn't acceptable. That's not how you drive out here. And we don't have that. I mean, do you think that that's something we need? Do we need NASCAR to step in and say, hey, this is unacceptable?
Last thing I think we need is NASCAR stepping in with how questionable NASCAR decisions are. On my honest opinion, I say let the driver sort it out. I mean, if you're gonna, obviously, you know, NASCAR needs to step in, make sure they're not right hooking each other, going through the tri-oval at Talladega at 200 miles an hour, killing each other. But I mean, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean, you gotta let these guys learn somehow. I mean, in that same podcast, Harvick talked about that. When Busch went on, he talked about that. Action Sentimental with Denny Hamlin, he talks about that coming up. You know, he played his games, won stupid prizes. Kurt Busch talked about that when he had his, in retrospect, with his fights with Jimmy Spencer. I mean, it's on the older driver. I think it's the veterans, the veterans of the sport need to be given the chance to teach. And when NASCAR can't decide if it's going to be the referee, NASCAR says, hey, let them race. They blink their eye and they're like, nope. They let them race until NASCAR doesn't like it.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, you either got to get all the way in or all the way out. And
and stay there. I mean, you can't do this.
There's not a lot of consistency in week to week calls and tolerance.
The dam of legitimacy is gone. I mean, look at the duels from Daytona this year.
Yeah. You know, if you look at or if you ask Todd Gilliland about it, he was saying that a punch in the face is kind of a good deterrent. You know,
yeah,
if that was allowed, but it's not. So that's something that I
hasn't
wonder
stopped people before.
Well, I know, but I wonder if NASCAR would kind of lay off of that, or say like, hey, we're not going to be the police, so don't put yourself in a position to get punched. if that would kind of police itself. You don't want to get punched in the face. Don't push people into the wall.
I hope so. I mean, really hope so.
It's kind of a built-in avoidable contact penalty. So,
Yeah.
But I suppose is that all you got for Xfinity?
Yeah, really so.
I think so too. I think we covered it well.
Yeah.
All right, lap 1, final lap. The white flag is out, and Denny dominated, and he adopted his college team's catchphrase. 11 against the world. That's the new go-to. It's not all in anymore. Now it's 11 against the world. So
It's no longer, this is my year.
no.
He's no longer just ripping the Cowboys. This is my year.
No, this is that way. Then when he gets to the playoffs and doesn't make it to the Final Four, he can say, that the world was against him.
Yeah. It sounds like it during driver intros. I mean, I don't think I've heard a single cheer for him in years at a Cup race.
I've heard a couple. I've seen a lot more 11 gear, but those people are very quiet. So
Not in Richmond. I mean, that he's a Chesterfield boy. I mean, that's his home track. I mean, he grew up in the stands area, he said, especially at Southside, which no longer exists, sadly. But I mean, 11 against the world sounds a little cringy to me. I mean, definitely more of a football thing.
yeah,
I mean, it would make sense if there were 11 crew members on the, including the driver, on the pit wall, but there's not.
yeah. It's kind of interesting. Maybe if you just start adding in administrative people, and Coach Gibbs is in there.
Well,
and,
my physical trainer, my yoga trainer,
yeah,
my dietitian.
Yeah, he's definitely on the 11 team. So,
My shoe marketing guy.
This is
Jordan.
I wonder if there's not more focus on Chris Gale than there is on Denny Hamlin winning this race.
Yeah.
And I think this is also something that goes to Progressive to say, like, hey, you made a good call. I mean, here it is. This is your investment paid off immediately.
Yeah, I mean, first race in with him wins. I mean, you all. I'm not a Denny fan, obviously, as you can tell. But when you see guys like Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, even now, it's hard to argue against Logano being a veteran of the sport at this point. You need these guys to be good. Otherwise, the new generation of fans aren't going to understand that. Hey, these guys are greats. I mean, they're no, I can't say multiple-time champions because of the obvious. But four-time Daytona 500 winner and multiple-time champions are greats of the sport. They need to be respected. And for them to be respected, they need to be good. They need to be at the front winning races, adding to their trophy collection. And Denny is closing in on being the most successful JGR driver, if I remember correctly. Closing on his former teammate, Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
I think he's only 3 away.
As far as Cup wins, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It's definitely exciting.
Yeah, I mean, sucks for Kyle Busch to lose that lead over his teammate, but I mean, Kyle Busch also has 2 big trophies at home saying champion on them.
Yeah, an angry Kyle Busch is a good Kyle Busch to have behind the wheel.
Yeah, that's going to be a great motivator for him over at RCR. But in comparison, Denny does have 4 of those nice Daytona 500 trophies at home, all lined up. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch is still chasing his first. That's the only crown jewel he hasn't had.
I wonder if they'd work out a trade. I'd trade you 2 for 1.
I'll trade you my 2015 Mickey Mouse for your Daytona 500 Mickey Mouse. Good old swap of the Mickey Mouse.
Uh-huh.
Hell, I'll even throw in part of that smash guitar from Nashville a couple years back.
Yeah, you can have the top half.
You can have the neck.
Yeah, there we go.
Uh,
Well, I mean, other than that, I mean, it was a pretty boring race. I mean, it was interesting to see.
Joey Logano, first top 10 of the year.
Yeah,
That's not good.
he's
Like,
off
that
to
is
a
a-
rough start.
It is an abysmal title defense. But, I mean, we saw the same thing in 24. He had an abysmal start to the year, yet he still won the championship despite being 15th in points. But who am I to disagree with our dear France family overlords as to who should be the champion at the end of the day?
Uh huh.
Um,
We definitely need a new format, but that's probably for a different episode.
yeah, and I mean Denny has been a dominant driver in it, and every time he's been good, and that does beg the question. His big missing achievement is a championship. Does beg the question, especially with the new Mickey Mouse Championship format. Does a championship really even matter now?
I don't think it means what it used to.
It doesn't. I mean, when you think of championship, you think of in it mattering. I mean, you think back to the 3 7-time champions, and you definitely put more respect on Richard Petty's and Dale Earnhardt's than you do Jimmy Johnson's.
Right.
And yes, I mean Jimmy Johnson drove in a different chase era than the current playoff, but you still don't respect him as the average fan doesn't respect him as much.
Right. I feel like that there's a lot of people that used to be happy with coming home third or fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
Because it was good for points. And now it's just kind of I don't know. Michael McDowell was asked at Watkins Glen one time. He came in like third, and that was his best finish of the year. And they were like, how does that feel? Are you excited that you came so close? And he's like, no, I'm almost more disappointed. Like this almost hurts more because I just want to win, and so to come so close and to not be able to win, it doesn't help. I think when you hand out a trophy, I think if we want to keep the Cup Series championship format the same way that we have it now, we need to change the trophy. Because right now, you get a trophy that has an outline of every single track on the schedule. And I don't think it's right for somebody like Joey Logano to hoist that up and say, look at me, I did good at all the tracks. That's why I get this cup. And it's like, no, you did good.
You did
needed
good
to
in
do
one
good.
round. You did good in one round.
Uh-huh. So,
I mean, and if you're going to do that, if NASCAR really wanted to keep it, I mean, to make a bigger deal out of the team standing. Because that's the true championship now, is to be at the top of the team championship, because that's the one that pays at the end of the day.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, we should be celebrating C. Bell's championship, in my opinion. I mean, we aren't. I mean, we're celebrating Joey Logano winning his third for Penske. Amazing that Penske is Ford being clearly the worst next-gen car, having won every single next-gen championship so far. That's always kind of funny to bring up. Ford, you agree, Ford undeniably has the worst next-gen car.
Yep.
Between Toyota and Chevy, yet they've won every championship.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah. All because it comes down to one track in one weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully we see that change in the future too. I mean, that's...
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really, really hope so.
Well, we kind of had a bonus scheduled here, but I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like we've gone quite a while. I think
we have.
We might just skip our bonus here and sign off, folks. We appreciate you hanging with us, and we'd love to get your feedback in the comments. So if you'd like to leave one, we'll definitely be sure to get back to you. But thanks, Craig, for joining me. And we'll
Absolutely.
see
Thank you for
everybody-
having me.
Absolutely. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.